10. I just want to orient you to this course and to say welcome. I'm excited and eager to have you. Um, if you're watching this, of course, here is your welcome video. Before I go over the syllabus, everything that you need to do is on this main page, broken down into modules by week. In week 1, you have your syllabus quiz, so you will need to read over the syllabus. I would recommend that you get acquainted with R and R Studio, especially if you're interested in statistics. You can probably get away without it. There was one module in which you may need it, most notably in talking about graphs and statistics. Then the prerequisite for this course is Calculus 1, so I have a calculus review. And let's just click on some of these quizzes because each quiz is worth a little bit different in terms of points and has slightly different parameter settings. So if you click on this syllabus quiz, it tells you the points. It tells you that there's no time limit, so please take your time on this. You're allowed multiple attempts. It specifies 2. So you're allowed 2 attempts. It keeps the average score. Okay. And if I was to preview this quiz, it looks like the following. So, what is your textbook? What should you do when you email me? These are all things contained in the syllabus. We'll go over that a little bit later. How often, what to expect when you contact your virtual instructor via email, and questions about your exams, the name of your instructor, questions regarding technology, and a few more questions about this course. Okay, so let's go back. You have a calculus quiz, and it will be very similar in nature. Here you have a quiz in week 2, so just to reorient you towards the main layout. In week 1, this is everything you need to do. There's 2 quizzes. In week 2, you have 1 quiz, and generally there'll just be 1 quiz. So if I click on week 2, because that's getting into the material, the due date for this will be January 19th. That's one more thing to check. Another thing is if you want to look at your video lectures, they're all right here. Okay. Then, some extra problems to look at for your textbook. Okay. So here's your recorded lectures, and I'll preview this quiz, just so that you know what it looks like. Once again, there's no time limit. So if we go back, it says no time limit here. And then let's preview this quiz or your weekly homework, whichever you prefer. So some questions about how many different orders you can have in a certain scenario. Here's another scenario, and it asks about different orders that you can have in which they're back to back to back. Questions about ways things can occur. That relates to permutations, combinations. Another question that's related, but a slightly different question to the same scenario. More questions about ways things can happen, questions about passwords, etc. Okay, questions about dice or ways that things can happen. Okay, so that was week 2. Then from there on out, it's kind of all the same. I'll go over week 3 because there's one thing I want to emphasize, and it's shown right here. Right here, this is some notes that I made and corresponding video lectures. if you'd like to have something written down. I do this in most of the weeks to have something written for you, and some videos, but not in all the weeks. Okay, so just some examples, written out examples, and notes that can go along with your textbook. Okay, so questions there. And if we go back, there's your quiz for this week. You have these video lectures, these same ones, then a link to your notes, optional textbook problems, and then we can preview these questions on probability. So here is asking questions about disjoint and independent events, and you're supposed to select the best answer there. Again, questions on tossing coins or probabilities. This one's on an or probability. More questions that correspond to the material, and each week you'll have a quiz that looks like this. Okay, different questions obviously. Okay, but same type of testing scenario. Let's go back. Eventually you'll get to your first exam, that's in week 5, and you have a corresponding practice exam. In exam 1, this is a timed exam. You are not allowed multiple attempts. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you are also given a practice exam. For this practice exam, you should notice, and I hope that you're also careful to notice, hey, there are no time limits, you're allowed multiple attempts, it keeps your highest and not the average. So your practice exam score may not correlate or correspond to your exam score, especially if you are not timing it or not keeping it in a similar scenario to your exam. Okay. So if you continue down here, you'll see more quizzes, material, more exams. Then you have 3 exams. Your third exam is right here. Then your final exam. Your final exam, because it's during finals week, it's open for 2 days, not 1. But again, it is open for perhaps less time than an exam might be because it has to happen during finals week. Okay. Now let's go over your syllabus. Here's my email if should you need to contact me. This is my tentative office hour, and I expect a lot of email correspondence. When you correspond with me, keep in mind it can take me up to 48 hours when I'm swamped with emails. My work days are Monday through Friday, not the weekend. So if you send me an email on the weekend or after 5 on Friday, I won't see it until Monday. Okay. So templates for your email question. The main thing that I ask is 2 things. Take a screenshot of the question that you're trying to solve and send it to me so I know which question it is. And be sure to state your name in the body of the text. Okay. If you can, include the course number and what you tried as a possible solution. I'm asking that you do this or requiring, but at the bare minimum, these 2. If you're looking at your quiz, hey, all of these things, if you're taking your quiz. Okay. This is what the course covers, and its learning objectives are all of these things, and that corresponds to this material. Okay. I grade you according to the following breakdown. Homework's 30%, that's worth 2 exams. Each exam is 15%, there's 3 of them, and then your final's 25. These are your exam dates. So 10 through 13th for the first exam, 4 through 13th, it's longer because part of that your exam actually starts before spring break, but I thought it'd be nice and let you take it over spring break. So that's why this exam time is longer. Exam 3 is back to normal like exam 1, and you have 7 through 10. Then your final exam is you just have 2 days. Okay. All of your homework is online in the quizzes that you just saw. And finally, in your grading scale or grading breakdown, it corresponds to this. These percentages that you earn corresponds to these grades. And just to summarize this in one words, I expect you to be a professional and to act like it. If you need learning help, please contact me. However, there's also a learning strategist, Brian Pilcher, in the College of Science, who you can make an appointment with. If you need a laptop, you may obtain one here. Okay, so that is my orientation to Math 3410. Each week, what you need to do is contained within the module, and and that is what you need to orient yourself to succeed each week. So if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thank you very much.